If you believe in a dream, it will come true. That quote, it was a quote that I remember vividly. I was presenting a closing graduation speech. I was chosen to be the last presenter at my high school graduation 4 years ago. And when I said that speech, it was amazing. It felt amazing, and people were cheering me on, and I felt like I made it. Like the previous years before that, my life was a disaster. I was in depression, and then it went back up in just the span of a year, and I felt like a completely different person. And I thought I was going to be confident. I was so confident in my social life that people would now just respect me because I did the speech. I had the courage to do things even though I was naturally, or I was considered shy by everybody. Really scared. I was scared so much about what people had to say. And I thought I would just continue forward when I attended university, but that was not the case at all. Well, why was that? I thought I was so confident things were just going to move forward, right? There's only step one of high school, right? But that did not happen. Instead, I was immediately shelved and partly given a slice of humble pie, right? But also, it was really extreme to the point where suddenly I was right back into the depressive state I was in, which I was hyper isolated. I was completely alone with nobody to talk to, and I did not want to talk to anybody except myself and my internal dialogues. But once I realized that confidence only takes you so far, that's when everything switched for me. There's a difference between confidence and competence. Confidence only happens in your mind. Confidence only projects about a future where you either are good or are sufficient enough at a task or not sufficient enough at a task. Confidence is based on the future, but as you know, the future doesn't exist. It never will exist. It only exists, but it's when it transitions to the present. And by that time, the future doesn't exist. It's the present. And so, when you're trying to think about how confident are you that you can be able to do a task, that's like saying you're highly confident that this RNG machine will slide in your favor. It's like you're splitting slots, but you think that by doing X, Y, and Z, you're like it's like one of those false bingo cards where they pretend that you're trying to make a strategy and think you're tactical, but at the end of the day, it's still just numbers drawn, right? It's all a hoax. It's all a trap. And a lot of people really get guided by confidence so much. Some people on the low spectrum of people have no confidence. It gets into their head so much that I can't do this. Especially, and I understand, everybody's trying something new. I mean, everybody is scared when they try something new. It's not familiar to them, but their mind is thinking that, oh, they're projecting something in the future that hasn't even happened yet. Yeah. Okay. I'm worried that I'm gonna fail. Well, you haven't failed yet. You haven't failed yet, and where you are right now, at least you're alive, right? Are you alive? Then yeah, then that's all you need. That's it. All you need is a roof over your head and food to eat. And then if you want to do other things, you get the necessary materials, the necessary capital in order to start that. But there's the opposite side of the spectrum where people are too confident. They're convinced that this is going to work if I do X, Y, and Z. And then they do it, and then they don't get success and they wonder, wait, what happened? I thought if I believe in a dream, it will come true. Like I believed that I could do it. I was so confident in it. I see the vision already. I know exactly what my dream life is going to look like. But then everything collapses and you just wonder, you just follow blindly a path that you didn't really think hard enough about whether you actually believed in it or not. And it's not belief actually. It comes down to results. All people care about is results, whether you do it or not. Nobody cares about what your confidence is. Like, you don't need to tell people about your future. Like, in the future, I'm going to do this. In 5 years, I'm going to do that. By the age of 30, I'm going to do this. When I retire, I'm going to have this amount of money or have this amount of assets. You don't need to share that with anybody because, first of all, you don't know whether you're going to have that or not. That's in a future state where anything can change, anything can happen. You don't know the future. Not even 10 seconds in advance. And second of all, you're operating based on confidence, but there's no, without competence to back that up, it's useless. And what do I mean by competence? Competence is how good you are at the actual thing, just how good you are at it. It doesn't matter if you want to make a living doing photography. If you suck at photography, you're not gonna make it, man. It doesn't matter if you're going to do something that you love, or not doing something you love, doing something that people convinced you was going to make a lot of money and get you out of your horrible situation. But if you're not getting good at it, then there's no saving that. No amount of I'm gonna have a positive attitude towards it and keep going. Well, nobody cares about your attitude. They only want results. Attitude doesn't really exist because you can't see their thoughts. You can't mind read other people. Those are just thoughts. They haven't happened in material yet. They haven't happened in actual reality yet. It's only when it's in reality, in things you can touch, see, smell, taste, so on and so forth, that you can definitively say you're competent. So there's a difference between confidence and competence. Confidence doesn't guarantee anything. Competence also doesn't guarantee anything. But at least you are considered an expert in what you do. Confidence, you can be the dumbest person ever and say, you can know nothing about geography. But you can say, I'm so good at geography, I'm going to do this. Obviously, if you don't have a plan to become competent, then that's out the window too, right? So that's the trap that most people fall into. But going back to my story. So I was so isolated for such a long time, right? And so what changed? It was because I was so convinced that something was wrong with me. I was so confident that something was wrong with me and my personality, and I had to change my personality to fit in with these other people. But when I changed my mindset to say that, oh no, it's not me that's the problem. It's not my confidence that's the problem. It's about me having a different view about life and how to be happy. And then I changed my view to now I'm perfectly fine being alone and not having any friends. I'm perfectly okay with that. Not dependent on anybody else to give me my happiness or my satisfaction in life. Because I know my own body. I would say I'm competent in knowing what brings me happiness, angling my happiness, you could say, towards yourself and loving your body. And I think that's a real thing, especially when a lot of people that are so depressed and caught up about things that they really have no business thinking about. It's really hampering down their mental health and physical health as well. So, in conclusion, you don't need confidence at all. Go in and do things even though your mind will fight you so bad about something that doesn't even exist in the future. Act despite that. Do things that your body will tell you that deep down you know what you have to do. You know what you have to do. And when your body has been telling you for so long, then just act on it. Just do it. See where it takes you. And perhaps those dreams could come true. Even if you don't believe in them.